for a server. And then I also don't have any crew member rumors, so I will put those in probably next week. Because that's the fun of running a sandbox open world campaign. Sometimes you can say, hey, we're doing a dungeon next session, and the party's like, no, we're not, we're doing logistics in town.
Imagine players not being concerned about money.
Alright, hello and welcome to the Ilderon Tales. Yes, we are starting late tonight, but surprise, the joke's on you. We're actually had started on time and we've been here the whole time talking, and we just did some logistical stuff off camera that I will summarize. Been a while for this group. I'm not going to beleaguer us with a huge long recap for the rest of stream. Last session was the I'm sorry, we're playing Dungeons & Dragons, and you're under the age of 14. Stop, go. What are you doing? It's been a while. Anyways, we're playing, we're on the island of Leetris in the port of Nortvigar. Last session started on the 9th of Servant, and we got to hear all of Tuer's trauma. Kalbahari managed to get a map of the Gaiori fortress that the party is planning to raid, and Len and Kalbahari talked and argued with the Marai that were living in the bay and got them to start opening their minds to coming around and accepting this new era of the world. So we did some logistical stuff just to solve a bunch of storylines and move forward. So Enrique had a powerful boon granted from his patron. It was not meant for him. It was given to one of the crewmates, a woman by the name of Redwater, and the boon has essentially reincarnated her, like a pseudo-reincarnate. She still has her memories and most of her body, and she is much more spooky and sea spirit and eerie. Now when you look at her, she looks like a cross between a wonderkin and a ghost. She's not translucent, that's worth saying, and giving her the power did heal her from her curse that she was affected from the blood chalice, and her eternal bloodlust is finally sated, and a mild curiosity is replacing it. We gave character levels to one of Ina's chickens. Ina has been training her chicken to defend itself, and after lots of intense combat drills and then running to the various holy casters on the ship to help revitalize the chicken, Corey has been affected by Ina's chaos or wild magic, and has taken on this holy energy that Corey, is he or
they're all girls, but I call him
okay
he.
That he has been infused with, and Corey is now a 2nd level paladin chicken. It still cannot speak, but it is it is much more adept at defending itself and other chickens. And then with that, the party...
I do have a question.
Oh.
The other chickens, I know you said they didn't have an affinity for it, but they've been working their tails off, somewhat literally. Are they somewhat capable of defending themselves?
I'll move their stat block, and instead of -1 Constitution, they'll have 0 for their Constitution bonus, so they'll have 2 HP now.
I'd like to put this out there. I tried to get Emmy to let me have a swarm of chickens as the NPC so that they could all collectively have a level, but that got shot down.
I don't know what artificial intelligence is inside of your chat, but I hate it. Okay. And then the last thing that happened before you left port, the Moonsinger Orin informed the party that she is helping hunt with the different Navidars in the region. The Marai are no longer, this specific pod of them are not going to be isolationists, and they're going to help hunt and bring some of these levels of roaming sea monsters down. With that, the party has been sailing towards Swordhaven. They took on 6 passengers, and they have 140 gold I'm going to put into your ship roster, which I definitely have right here. And then we are going to be arriving at Swordhaven in 10 days, because I don't think Ina is exhausting herself to try and get the ship moving. All right, so with that, let's launch this shindig. I gave you guys a special item. I remember crew supplies. You have 20 of them. Are there 20 pounds? And I calculated, oh, come on, Emmy, tell me that I put the, yeah, 13 gold per unit, and each one gets you have 2 of them. Each one gets you 1 day's worth of supplies and meals. So you make 140 gold. You spend 130 gold on supplying your crew. So at the end of the day, you guys make 10 gold. If anybody wants to, you do have a lot of adept fishermen. If anybody wants to fish on the high seas, it is hard to do,
I do.
while your ship is booking it like you guys are.
What's the speed of the ship?
Your ship is moving at, let's see, without your max wind modifier. Let's see this.
I would say we should take our time in the reason to get more fish and actually sell some when we get to port. If we're only netting 10 gold, it may not be a bad idea to, have a big haul of X fish.
I also have.
Also, just, fish will help make our supplies last longer and be less of a cost.
Cost less. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you are going to catch a super favorable wind to Swordhaven. And that is going to put your travel time at 35 miles an hour. Between going into a proper current and having a favorable wind following you. Well, hold on, so let me recalculate this now. So you guys will only need 6 rations. So with this, currently, you're only spending 78 gold.
So that's 72 gold that was we
I'm
profit.
sorry. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm 13 times 6. Yeah, 78. 140 minus 78. You're going to pocket 62 gold. Which, hey, is a lot better than 10. If you want, people can fish. It's going to essentially be incredibly difficult and very lucky if you catch anything. It would be a DC, I'd say 23 survival check.
I feel like fishing and hunting while underwater are slightly different skills.
Yes,
have
but
a
if your party
small
gets
army
off
of
the
them.
boat, they are going to be kind of lost.
Would you allow an attack roll using a net?
Yeah. I'm imagining what you all are more so doing, since you can't really lure fish, is more so spear fishing with like a rope.
Can I just like hang on to the bottom of the ship and be spearing things?
Inside
A
the water.
chain, like a monkey,
Yeah,
like
just tie
barrel
us
of
to the
monkeys.
boat.
You're just gonna try and
What's the
grab
barrel
fish
monkeys
because you
of,
can't
Mara?
throw a spear. Oh, you can throw your trident in water.
Or just stab.
Okay. Yeah, I will allow that. I'll change your roll to 19.
I mean, I've got a giant octopus to help out, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. To where I'll give you to where I will give you some luxury fish. I would say for the first bit, that this is probably way too difficult for your mount to help you out until you realize like what you guys are doing.
Oh, it's like-
Closer-
it's like giant octopus clings to the side of the ship, and I'm on the mount.
Yeah, closer to port, you do finally catch some fish. It's not going to be enough to feed anybody, but you can definitely trade them to a fishmonger, and I'll just increase the amount of gold you guys get. I'll increase it by 4 gold, so that's be 169. You literally
Can we
are
throw the
fish
chicken, the
people.
holy chicken? Can we use
Um,
the holy chicken to be able to catch fish for us? I feel like this is.
no,
the use-
I feel like you're gonna
No,
lose
we
to
would
that.
drown
Or
it.
Corey.
Corey would
Mhm.
drown.
All right. Otherwise, you are able to pull in to Swordhaven, the capital of Heimsdale. Let me edit the loot. You have no more crew supplies, which you guys will have to restock later in town. But you pull into Heimsdale. Swordhaven is not only the major port of Heimsdale, it is also the capital of the nation. Heading into the bay, there are 2 colossal statues of the ascended goddesses, each one holding up a glowing ball of light. You see the ascended goddess of fire, Soyesa, on the north side of the bay, and you see the ascended goddess of water, Umiya, on the southern side of the bay. There are dozens of docks within this port, plenty of different places for you to find a place to moor your ship. I don't think that's the word. To tie up your
Dock.
ship.
No, it is more. Yeah, it is more.
Yeah, to moor your ship and there are, I would say, probably just as many ships out in the harbor, either making a daily life for themselves on the sea, or just waiting and sending smaller dinghies into the city. Looking at the city itself, it is stacked and stacked upon itself until you get up to the highlands of it, and the Ruby Stone Castle overlooking the docks and the rest of the city. There was something else I wanted to point out. Oh, closest to the docks. I don't think you all know the name of this, but some of you might, and Galana will point it out. It's the Baker's Blades is the name of the docks. You see a towering multi-part house that almost looks like a lighthouse and a port house of its own in the city. And on the upper floors of it, this thing stretches essentially almost the length of the cliffside upwards, and there are 2 airships docked at the upper floors of this place. And Galana will point to it as you are, and this building is draped in red paint and banners and tapestries hanging from each window here. And Galana will point to it and say, that ship's up there, that's the Emery. I fought it once before. Makes regular routes through the Clutch. One of the pride and joys of the Niran fleet.
That name sounds familiar. Says Enrique.
Yeah, the Emery. You do know the name Emery?
Oh no, it was the Niran part.
Oh, okay, Niran. You know both names.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emery is the princess of Heimsdale, sister to the queen. You all have met her before.
When did we meet her?
You tried to rob her house while she was having a social.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the princess. Yeah. Okay, just wanted to
I
go.
died. I died for a moment.
Galana will ask Captain Nefria. She'll say, Captain, you want a spot at the docks, or you want me to send a crew to row into town?
Let's go into town. Let's dock all the way up, and we've got our chits passengers also to think of.
She is going to nod after a few minutes, bringing up the sails, and just letting one of your single masts bring you closer to the docks. She will guide you gently into the blades, the Baker's Blades, and it is called this. There are a set of extensive wooden docks shooting out into the bay from off of the stone cliffs, or from off of like the stone northern part of the harbor north of the city, and there are 13 of these extended docks coming out. She finds you a spot at one of them, and she'll say, these are Niran ports, but whole town is near imports. Everybody else pays taxes to them. This is about the cheapest we'll find right in their front yard.
Well, it's not like we'll be staying for long.
She'll nod and say, I'll be in my quarters, tie up the ship, and when we're ready to sail out, just let me know. And Galana is going to finally retire from her post and head below docks once people start tying up the ships. Deckhands will be on, or dockhands will be on the docks to help bring in your ship. They'll get you all secured, and as far as greeting here, there is little fanfare. There's several Heimsdale military officers patrolling these docks. Nobody official really comes up to greet you, but you can see several different kiosks set up with workers at them who are kind of going through what looks to be official business. All of these people have noticed your ship coming in. It's kind of on you for how you're doing business here.
Well, we want to collect our money for dropping these guys off. Yes, you've added to our inventory, but let's go pay our due. And does anyone want to go with me? Otherwise I'll go sign in, quote unquote.
I'll accompany you, Captain.
I'll go.
All right. The three of you can head off, and let me just roll if anyone else has a interest in coming with you. Red will ask Nefria as you are getting off the ship. She'll say, Captain, you mind if I stretch my legs in town?
As long as you don't murder anyone, sure.
She laughs at that, and the joke almost feels distant for her as she steps off the ship, and she'll accompany all of you. So we've got we've got Tuwir, Nefria, and Enrique. All right. I'm not going to get actions from everyone. I'm going to kind of keep the action focused tonight, since we're on a little shorter time limit. So, Nefria, you lead your crewmates up the docks as you go to register your ship at the kiosk. The man is going to lean over the counter and look at you and say, welcome to Sword Haven. Let me be the first to help you get acquainted with the Baker's Blades. Is that the sea stern?
Formerly the sea stern. It is now the captain's curse, and we are not going to pay anything that was left or due for the sea stern. I'll be blunt about that now.
You say it's the captain's curse. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to talk to the portmaster on whether or not we're allowed to discharge your debts. And he'll take and
It's
shuffle.
not our debt. It isn't our debt. We have never been the Sea Stern. Our ship is the Captain Curse.
Hey, if you're registering your ship as a Sea Stern man, all I want, or woman, all I want to do is take and get your ship signed in, get your docking fee, and go on about my day until I get off at lunch, okay?
Awesome. Teamwork. Let's do this.
Yes, it is honestly bad practice to attribute any sort of debt or moral standing towards a tool, weapon, or vehicle, as opposed to those who pilot it. We can point you in the direction of the old ex-captain.
All right. He is going to speak up and say, it's going to be 3 gold for the fee for the Nirans, 3 gold for the Queen's tax, and then if you want to keep your ship here all day, it'll be another 3 gold per day, unless the docks fill up. Then we let people outbid, and we'll ask your ship to anchor out in the harbor, and our guards will keep watch on it.
We don't plan on being on shore longer than the day.
9 gold in the Sea Stern, he says, in quotation marks, can go about its business in Swordhaven.
You know what? Okay. 9 gold it is. Persuasion. I'm gonna try to say, I think 8 gold is the right amount.
Go for it.
I tried.
Can I just do that thing where like I say it a little louder and clearer?
I will allow you to help or try and reiterate, but how do you do it? You're just gonna say the same thing again?
No, it's just no. It's as the captain, as my captain just said, we are barely going to be in docks for a few hours, if at all possible. The full fee as such should not apply. 7 or 8 gold should be more than enough.
Give me that persuasion check.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As he's shuffling through paperwork, he's going to say, well, I mean, I can charge you 7 gold, and out of that 9 gold tax, this the Queen's tax is probably attributed to the Captain's Curse log. Sound fair?
What do you think,
not the
Captain?
Captain's Curse, the Sea Stern.
That sounds fair to me. After all, it was the Sea Stern that had those issues in the past.
All right, 7 gold, and he pockets 1.
Knew it. I fucking knew it.
Well, he discharged 3 gold of your debt, so. That said, he'll start writing up the manifest real quick, and he'll take out the captain's, the log on the Captain's Curse that he has, and he's going to say, "Oh, are you Captain Nahinio? Nahinio?
I am.
He's going to say, well, there's actually a standing order here for the captain of this vessel, the Captain's Curse Sea Stern, to... Oh! Oh, your docking fees have been waived in your meet to meet with the port master. Guards, he'll signal for one of the patrols. Say, they can take you to the, Niren's estate. I'm so sorry.
Could we get our money back?
He'll hand
Yeah,
you back 6 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Good sir. Does a report? Will a additional report need to be filed?
He's gonna say,
I'm
oh,
very
I
glad
dropped
that
a
we're
coin
going to
down
the
here.
port
Hold on.
master.
And he's going to reach and bring up a coin.
Perfect. It was a pleasure meeting you.
All right, let's get this over with.
Oh boy.
If we're being led to where we need to go, I'm just gonna look at the other two, or the captain, and say, "So, how much trouble do you think we're probably in?"
What do you think? What could we possibly be in trouble for? She's intentionally being oblivious.
Should we bring along our other top-ranking members of the crew, or should our party be sufficient?
What's the worst that could happen?
A lot.
We'll be okay.
As you wish, Captain.
All right.
All right. You are being led to the Niren dockhouse, and I think one of the guards will say, "Hey, aren't you the blokes who killed Vice Admiral Niren?"
We saved his body from the
We
Archblade.
saved him.
I heard half Elitris is on fire right now.
That is his
that was
own
his fault,
making,
though.
but that is politics we are not involved in.
Those rumors are crazy.
He's going to nod and say, Captain Keel got to town a few days earlier than you all. I haven't had the pleasure of talking to her myself.
Well, Leatrice is fine. Not on fire. Just to think about it. Not when we left.
No, there were riots, but those were resolved thanks to certain figures re-emerging. Place when we left it was in the middle of rebuilding.
As you guys are leaving the wooden docks and walking up the cobbled road, a person talking and making a deal with someone else at a market stall is going to stop, double take, shake her head, and say, "By so yes's flames?" Looks over to your group. Says, "They finally caught her. Featherbeard's bloodhound. Red water."
She stayed on the boat, right?
No, Red
No, she
followed
came
you
with
guys
us.
into town.
Ah, shit.
Um,
I thought she stayed on the boat. I would have asked that she remain. Oh fuck. Well, too late for that now.
a woman's going to approach your group. The soldiers barely give her notice. And the one who's talking says, "They're guests, Not criminals. It's fucking lots pirates. That's for the portmaster to decide. She'll look at Nefria and say, I don't recognize you. But you two almost killed me nearly a half dozen times.
With all due respect, I do not believe we are acquainted.
She's gonna say, oh, you don't remember my name. First mate, Carrionlin of the Dark Knight Fleet.
To us, just going to just look at her, raise one eyebrow, shake his head. You must have us mistaken.
Your fucking lot kicked us out of the Thorn Straits. We were mercenaries, privateers, not pirates.
Well, I apologize that you lost your grounds of employment.
No reason for you to be angry. It was just professional. And it's nice to meet you.
She's
Smiley.
gonna say, what's up with her? She looks half dead.
She is.
Enough time on the seas will do that to a lot of people. You would know if you had the reputation you claim.
She's going to roll her neck and say, I'm fighting for some adventurers guild in town. They barely have their sea legs underneath them. They'll be dead by the time the month's out.
Dark.
You sound almost
shrugs and
disappointed.
She's gonna say, I'm good, but I'm not a miracle worker.
You sound almost disappointed.
She's going to shake her head and say, your crew, savage lot. You put a sword to their neck, you outfight them, you best them, and they keep fighting, scratching,
not
kicking.
His
Until-
crew anymore, or their crew.
She's gonna nod and say, anyways, you only ever bested us because the insanity of your numbers, not the amount of your numbers, but how insane each and every one of you were. I'd like to settle the score.
Look, can we take this somewhere else?
She's gonna nod and say, that's what I was inviting you to do. Game of cards tonight. Your favorite
I'm great at cards. Do you play euchre?
you know what? I don't think she does. She's
Priya's backstory includes playing cards. She loves cards for reals.
Does she have playing cards as a tool proficiency?
yeah, she'll
Yes.
list
And
several
dice.
sailors games. We can settle our past gripes without blades.
I hate to disappoint you, but any beef between us is unfortunately only on your side. But if Captain, if you will allow, then once we've dealt with other business, we can find you later.
Yeah, if we get around to it.
She'll nod and say, try to find that one's gusto by the time you show up. And she'll list a number of places. But I haven't rolled up this city, so in my notes, I'm just going to say meeting Carolyn at a tavern. Or at a dockside tavern. I'll give you guys options in the future. Alright, the rest of this trip, you are able to walk up the road into the port house. It starts as a stocky building, and each layer you go up, half of the buildings with disappear, or each floor you go up, half the buildings with disappears until it is just a straight tower leading up to the airship docks here. Inside, though, you only go up about 4 floors until you are led into Portmaster Akaisa's office. And she is a older lady, much like Tavarlo, a few years his younger, graying hair, but hard to see between all of her white locks tied back in her hair. Stepping into her office, there are trophies lining the edges of this circular place with the bones of a sea creature hanging down in the middle of her office. She has several little lounges and lobbies set up, and she sits at one with a carafe of wine and a servant next to her. She does have on a similar military uniform to the soldiers here, although it is not notably not a Heimsdale Navy uniform. She turns and looks at you all coming in and says, "The captain's curse for the first time in Swordhaven. Welcome, welcome." She'll
Perception check to see if she's genuinely excited to see us.
Wouldn't that be
Go for it.
insight?
Yeah, insight. Give me an insight check.
I am not rolling well.
Neither am I.
Same.
Wow,
Yeah.
I have the highest insight. Jeez.
I would say this lady brushes with all of the politicians and the inner circles of Swordhaven, and probably keeps herself at a very calm neutral as to if she's happy or unhappy to see you. I don't think any of you can tell that. She'll gesture for you to sit, and she'll dismiss the guards. She's going to stand until each of you take a seat. Red is not going to sit. Red's going to say, "A single servant, not a single other sword around here? You're a brave lady." She'll shrug and say, "If an assassin comes after me, half the city stops working." Not really
Yeah,
working
please let
anybody's
us-
time
after
for
them.
me. Say that
Please let us engage in civility. If only for the duration of this meeting.
Captain Keel told me about you all. A lot of pirates. running respectable adventures in the southern seas.
We
He sounds.
take that as a compliment. You know, we don't have to be bad people to be free sailors.
Everyone deserves a chance at redemption, after all.
Pirates annoy me almost as much as those Navidars of Letris.
Eyebrow twitch.
I smile because I don't like Navidars.
Dwyer is used to the bullshit.
I've grown to favor Ardorian customs here. Oaths, honors, things that bind each other to one another. Not all of this emotion and trust. I like contracts. Pirates simply can't be trusted with that work most of the time.
Well, even with a contract, there is still an innate amount of trust that it will be upheld between the parties.
She's going to nod and say, but I didn't bring you here to berate you about your chosen path in life. What you do outside of these waters is between you and the Queen's Navy. If you ever attack one of my ships, though, my entire armada will hunt you down. I do not abide piracy.
And if you hurt a member of my crew member, I will hunt you down. We are on the same page.
Red will lean down and say, she's got several contracts with Princess Boldari, Captain.
That's okay. I stand by what I said.
We operate on a case of we will defend ourselves.
She is going to say, good. If there's any contract that we can form for a better friendship that takes my any ship sailing under my fleet out of your purview, or out of my armada, out of your purview, I am amenable to it. But let's get down to the business of why you're here. My brother did his best to try and drag our name down into a shameful inn upon one which, upon the history books, would have spent the next several decades laughing at us. And I hear that you all are to blame, or you all are the ones to thank that he wasn't successful with that.
All people that I think he was convinced in his own mind that he was doing the right thing and just needed some better direction. We are glad that we were of service to the Queen.
And let it be said that we did not go out of our way to specifically target him. It was a case of we were trying to do right by the people of Letris, and the dice just fell as they may.
He happened to be wrong.
She's going to brush a hand and say, I couldn't care. I could care less about either. Wait, no, I couldn't care less about either. And she'll say, what concerns me is legacy. I know my brother's story was yet to be done being written. And I don't know if dying to an Archblade attack is the proper end for him. I have the power within our family's organization to bring him back. His body rests in our crypts right now. But do have to say I am torn on the topic. Completely.
Is there not the possibility that once you bring him back, that the previous order for him to be sent to the Queen, would that not come back into effect?
She's going to nod and say, but Queen Paline, or Queen Paline, she understands the politics of the city better than her father did somehow. She is negotiable, and I'm wondering if it's best to bring my brother back and negotiate some sort of statement to the public. He's been conscripted into Nazram to go fight the Archblight heroically, blah 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 blah, off to Betrayer's Isles for the last of his days. In either case, none of that's your concern. You recovered his body, and I owe you a great deal of thanks for that.
I think you should consider the fact that he now is not going to be cursed to become a Archblight, and he has found peace. When we last saw him, he was prepared to sacrifice himself to do the right thing. And that type of character is better.
I was present maybe 30 or so feet away, and he gave the order for his own throat to be slit once he was infected. Truly, he did have some amount of honor and a sense of responsibility towards those who were conscripted to take him to his death. This is why I went out of my way to ensure the recovery of his body.
She's gonna nod and say, yes, but Nirans don't die in simple scuffles. Our family was some of the first to leave Sarai's Dawn and to come to these waters at the behest of the water goddess.
You insult his death. He fought with a cyclone of undead that came up from the ocean depths. That was not just a simple death. He was not just a brick who fell off the top of a roof and he died. He died a ridiculous death in the most honorable way, trying to save a chicken and actually, sorry, strike the chicken. Strike the chicken.
I think it's on the record, and she is going to lie and say, that sounds like Farlow. You're saying I should let him rest.
I think you should let him rest.
She'll nod and say, I'll consider it. Again, neither of which is why I've called you here today. I simply wanted to say thank you, and while you're in our waters, offer you a favor. I have the ear of the Queen, and I have the Baker's Blades, and I have an entire armada at my disposal. If you think of anything valuing a 1,000 gold, valuing the
Equivalent?
Blah. There's another word, but we'll go with that one. Equivalent of 1,000 gold, up to 1,000 gold. Feel free to ask me. I'll even hold a gala in your honor if you want to meet some of the important people in town. Until then, you're welcome to use my docks for the week.
Well,
I don't
We
know if
will. We
we'll
won't
stay
be
here that
staying
long.
longer than the day. I'm afraid.
Could you possibly look into the cyclones of undead that are coming up around this area and point at the map? I don't really want to run into them ever again, and that really sucked.
Well, Captain, it certainly became a cyclone, but they were traveling under, they were burrowing under the top layer of sand on the ocean floor. There
Well,
must
they
have
were
been
still in the
thousands
area
of them
and
down
pointed at
there.
the map.
She's going to say, the Archblade's mostly contained to Betrayer's Isle, and the Terai, who aren't completely fed, find it very difficult, if not impossible, to move over running, living water. It burns them almost like acid would burn you or I. That said, one of the major concerns of Nazrim is monitoring the amount of soldiers they send to the island, as to ensure there aren't ever enough souls at one point for the armies of the Archblight to get fed enough to make it any measurable distance through the Southern Sea. If
Well,
you want to find why they're appearing in places that they shouldn't, my guess would be they found something to eat that lets them make the journey.
Well,
there was the
as I've
whole
just said,
wave.
they are quite literally burrowing under the surface of the ocean floor. So, active flowing living water is not a concern. The only reason they surfaced was to attack our ship and presumably claim more souls. I believe that whatever barriers you claim, the containment you have in place, has been found a way around and is now proving insufficient.
Okay, so what I'm imagining, then, a generous donation to the Nosram Alliance from the Niran family on behalf of the crew of the Captain's Curse. And our debt is settled with one another.
If you don't mind tossing a few coins for a nice dinner for us, we would just like to have a wonderful supplies of the best food for our entire crew for at least a meal or two also.
She'll nod and say, I'll get you a table at Ilarian's.
We will be departing as soon as we are able to finish resupplying. We should return within a week or two.
I will put a standing reservation for you for the next 2 weeks. One table reserved for you. And again, our debt is settled.
Okay.
I mean, just want to make sure I got that timeline right. It's no more than a week to get to the Gaiori Fort, yeah?
Yes.
It's
It's
like
going to be
3.5 days.
3.5 days from here.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Alright, at that, she's got not much else to go over or offer with you all. And she'll say, I'll put in the donation with the local Nazram pillar in town. If you want a plaque or anything on their wall, please let one of my assistants know.
I'll just say it right now. We would love to have a plaque honoring the captain's curse there.
She'll nod and say, and please, run that ship better than the last captain.
We will attempt.
If we got a silver coin for every time we heard that, we'd be able to pay off the debt that he accrued.
At some point, we need to get a hold of where he lives now and just give people directions.
I think you guys actually have part of it here.
We were told, like, an island or something.
Oh, nope, Golden Wind, got it. No, and she'll say, Captain, Lonel, took not only, 2 shipments, from me, but payment for a job and never delivered on any of them. I learned by the, 3rd time to stop trusting, his ships and those, Navidars. Golden Wind's curse was, that he got from Lonel. Got paid to sink a pirate's vessel, found their cove, and partied with them instead. But Golden Wind's not here anymore. Alright. Otherwise, you're free to go. You are talking to one of the 3 most powerful people in Swordhaven. Is there anything else you want to ask, mention, or discuss before you dip?
I'm going to turn to my crew members and be as subtle and secretive as possible. Do we bring up the guy Ori?
No. But we could put out an offer for a request when we do return. As in, like, us do something for
A job.
to curry a favor for to her.
Deal. All right, and then we turn back towards her and say, "No, we're okay, thank you." And copious head bobbing.
Mm-hmm.
So Nefria is not going to extend an offer for doing some work for her when we return.
We'll help you out when we get back. That's
okay, yeah. So basically, that.
Essentially, just when we come back, if you have a request we're able to fulfill, we can discuss it.
Yes. If I need anybody murdered or ships sunk to the bottom of the sea, I'll be sure to call you first.
we aren't.
You're
that
best
type
off
of
referring to
crew.
your own military for that.
We just brought some refugees here just on the basis of the Queen's request. We're not bad people.
That's not to say we aren't willing to get our hands dirty, but we are definitely, despite appearances, prefer to engage in more subtle work.
So be sure to think of us if you need something done subtly.
Or just off the books in general. Captain?
She'll nod.
I think it's time to run.
Yo, we have like 4 Marai and a paladin chicken. Y'all could sell us so much better than this.
I don't have time for marketing. I gotta go in like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, and we'll finish up there for the night. So, yeah, We'll pick up there in Swordhaven, getting ready to leave and sailing to the Gaiori fort. You guys can. I'm assuming the rest of the crew is getting the rest of the money for the chits, and you.
They're probably handling the supply runs.
Yeah. You got a donation for Nosram.
Plaque on their board.
Yeah, a plaque to go with your donation.
Better be recognized for this. If we can get any recognition at any point, of course we're doing it.
Okay, hold on. Let me just take notes real quick.
All right. In that case, I'm going to dip while y'all
Okay.
get that all sorted. Have a good one.
Good night.
All right.
Donation
Good
for
night.
Nosram. Plaque. You got a standing dinner reservation at the best restaurant in town. The Alarin, or the Ilarian. And there was a third thing. I don't remember what the third thing was.
They're going to look into the archplate. No, that. Oh, we talked her out of reviving her dead brother.
I don't think that was it. I think there was something as a part of her donation that she was going to give you all. But also you have access to her ports for the next week. All right. Yeah, that's tonight's session. Welcome to Swordhaven. Sorry it was such a quick and dirty intro, but we flipped things up on me tonight, and sometimes that just happens, and that's fine.
We got introduced to Corey.
Yeah, we'll pick up here. I'm not going to grant any inspiration or milestones, but we will do that next session, I think, when I'm more together. I will grant fortune. Well, I'm gonna give fortune 10 fortune to Enrique, Nefria, and Tuer, and I'll message him. And yeah, that'll be tonight's session.
How much fortune?
10. Ooh, I've got gremlin posture. Okay, thank you for watching, everybody. Next session will probably be on our regular scheduled date. Bye!